to us, Benchwarmers podcast, a Woso podcast. I want to start first with an acknowledgement of country. We, Benchwarmers, a Woso podcast, would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land in which we are operating our podcast, the land in which we get to provide content and enjoy the flavours and cultural expressions of the sport we love, spread throughout the history of Naarm and our First Nations communities. The roots of kicking ball sports in this country go back to thousands of years to the Boonwurrung and Wurundjeri Woiwurrung people of the Kulin Nation, specifically the Euro-Euroke, and their connection to ball sports prior to the settlement and the professionalisation of football in the 20th century as they overcame immense barriers of participation to the sport that were enforced upon them by the white Australian sporting bodies. It is the elders and watchers of the land who need to be acknowledged and have taught us the importance of land to sport. The importance of a country to a sport like football is immense, where every divot in the ground, every line marking and every goal net tells a story and binds us and our connections to a place, to a past moment of their history and our history on their land. The bedrock of First Nations footballing pioneers like Harry Williams, Charles Perkins, Lydia Williams, and John Moriarty have legacies and everlasting impact that will extend to Australian players of Woso today and tomorrow. We pay our respects to them and we extend that respect to First Nations football that is past, present and emerging. All right. I think the best way to start any podcast is explain who we are and what we do, what we care about, and why we're doing this. Why us? My name is Ben Krieser.
I'm Leggy. This idea kind of came about a couple years ago. We met a couple years ago and I think we realised that there was a gap in the market for voices that aren't necessarily the mainstream, aren't the ex-pros, when it comes to kind of maybe contrarian or even just like opinionated pieces.
Yeah, 100%. And that's where people like us come in.
And that's not to kind of diss on the people who had come before us.
No, absolutely.
Because I think that those voices were incredible. You know, like I look at the podcasts of today and I think, and the shows of today, and I think those voices matter. And they gave a platform to showcase women's football. I think it's just become a problem recently that we've picked up on, or not really a problem, more of the point of discourse, where it becomes like, where can like opinions that aren't the same fit into, you know, the discourse?
I think we have to explain to our audience who we actually are. I'm 24 years old. My pronouns are he, they. I work in football as an administrator and a strength and conditioning coach. I've been involved in football, in men's football, as a participator, as a player in my junior career, and then due to injuries became a referee for around 11 years. I ended up doing some coaching as well. I've been around the sport my whole life, but not really involved in women's football in the way I should have, other than through refereeing. I think it was when I started becoming a strength and conditioning coach, I genuinely worked in a community that cared about me and cared about more than just the sport. It was more than a sport to me, and I think that's what makes women's football so exciting as a concept for me.
For me, I've been playing football since I was 5. I originally started playing futsal and then I moved to outdoor when I was about 12, and I was a part of the MPL programs up until I was around 16, 17, and I stopped playing. I decided to focus on my studies and I was able to graduate, and now I'm doing a bachelor in journalism, and I returned to playing, and that's where we met. And I think the way that I interact with football and the way that I consume football is basically my life. I don't know a time in my life where I haven't grown up around football. I come from a European background. Football is pretty integral to culture and the things that I love to do with my family. I originally started watching, you know, the A-League over here, and a massive Victory fan. I feel like I've talked to you about this before, but like in European football, especially men's football, is something that felt so foreign to me. It was kind of like a sci-fi film. I was watching it and I was like, it's like 5 a.m. in the morning and it's you know 6 p.m. in Spain and I'm watching a Clasico and it's awesome. I get to see, you know, Messi score
every week.
Yeah, every week.
Every week.
But it's, and I get to see that, and then I think, you know, my love for the women's game really came when I became more involved in the W League over here. Yeah. And that was by actively going to the games. My dad would like literally tug me out to Epping and we would go and we watch a Victory game, and I got to see literally my heroes in Kim Little, Jess Fishlock. I got to see my favourite player when I was growing up, Lisa Devana. I got to see her in all her iterations here. I went to every Tilly's game when there were 2,000 people in the stands. And I loved it, and it has stuck with me forever. Like I can go in phases where I, like other sports or I'm doing other things in life, but it's always football. It always returns back to football. And playing it is one thing, but actually consuming it and wanting to talk about it is another thing. And I think that this is where the podcast is so important, because it's like there are so many people out there who just want voice and want to talk about their favorite thing, and our favorite thing is football. Yeah. And we just want to talk about it and chat.
Yeah, 100%. I think if we're looking at like our history in the sport and consuming that from a consumption base, I would say when it came to women's sport, I think the Women's World Cup was an incredible bedrock for, and a bit of a rude awakening for my personal care for a sport and care for the women's side of the game, because I should have cared about it sooner. I definitely have remnants of my past looking at the Women's World Cups and seeing highlights of Meg Rapinoe and Alex Morgan and Sam Kerr, in learning about these players, but it was never a genuine connection until it was put in front of my face. And I feel like I don't know, I can definitely be seen as that piggyback Matilda's fan, that's 100%, but I think it's still that cultural embodiment, ultimately the religious communal aspects of football extend in every realm beyond gender. But we are talking about Woso because it is magic and it's about to start. A lot of it is about to start. Some has started.
Some has already started.
And it was great. And we're going to get into that now. Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So now, where do we want to start?
Well, we have to start with my favorite team because I'm kicking off here, so we have to start with
brains.
we have to start off with my favorite team,
okay.
And I'm probably the biggest Arsenal fan,
I don't know anyone. I don't know if there's anyone online that I know.
And I don't know any City fans because they don't exist. But
thanks.
Anyway, Arsenal, I think, we've talked about this. Arsenal, the achievement that they had last season was remarkable. And people forget, we came from people booing Jonas Eidevall in Melbourne in a practice match against Courtney Vine's A-League All-Stars.
Yeah, less than 12 months ago.
Yeah, less than 12 months ago, Jonas Eidevall was booed, and we then won a European trophy. Yeah. And it's not like we, remarkably failed in the league either. We came second.
No.
Manchester United fans will love to tell you that they did so well in the league last year, but just they couldn't beat Arsenal. It's a bit strange. But no, what Renee's done and continues to do is phenomenal. I wasn't originally on the Renee bandwagon. I was actually a bit disappointed. I thought, there are so many...
I was there.
No,
I want everyone to know that Allegra did not like Renee's Legends. like was vehemently against it, said, why can't my team sign a decent manager? Just remember that. Remember that in hindsight.
I only say that because I think you look at the signing and you go, this is, Jonas in a wig.
Yeah,
and
Jonas in a wig.
That's being so respectful.
Jonas's right-hand woman.
Yeah, that's being so respectful. But you look at the appointment and you think, was Arsenal not a pool enough for the best coaches in the world? And then I think, what she's been able to do, because the foundations were there, the players were playing amazing. Yeah. It was the missing piece of I think, collective harmony that Renee was able to bring. Yeah. And what I think she will bring this season.
It's the feeling. It is. I think she took the practicality. As much as we could sit here and do a whole podcast criticizing Eidevall and the decisions he made in the lead up to his sacking, I think there was a practicality to his game.
Yes,
that the importance of the feeling was taken out.
Yeah.
It wasn't Alessia Russo that we know and love that is capable. It was her thrown in, shoehorned into a team that she wasn't belonging to. And then, we have to talk about probably one of the greatest loan deals of all time.
I have to agree.
I hate talking about it because it's my team and my ex-manager, which we'll get to.
She came home.
We'll get to. But yes, Chloe Kelly's mid-season move. Yeah. Chloe Kelly's mid-season move from Manchester City, complaining about her lack of game time, her lack of respect. She commanded respect.
And she did it in the right way.
And
anyone who says otherwise, she took control of that situation in ways that we can't understand. We didn't know what was going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And without the move, there would be no England Euro.
Also, 3.5 weeks before that move, she had just scored in the Champions League for us, and did that. Like, there is this iconic photo of Chloe Kelly literally lens out to the camera in a city top, putting her hands out like this, like
Gaza.
Basically doing a Balotelli one, always me.
Gaza, what are you doing?
And the quality was always there.
Yeah.
The question was how the adjustment period would be, and there was zero. And she came in and did exactly what your right-sided needed, complemented Caitlin Ford on the left,
allowed... link up with Mariana.
Yeah, linking up
Incredible.
with Caldente and Russo, exactly. So Russo, I would say, was the biggest beneficiary of that, because it allowed Blackstenius to move out of the first team for the beneficiaries of facilitator wingers. Yeah, it's not shoehorning any players; it's playing players in their natural positions. And I think Renee realized that if we have any chance of winning anything in that period, it was going to be with getting players in their comfortable spaces. Is there any other highlights you want to talk about from last year?
I think, you can't go past the PFA Player of the Year. Yes,
Mariana Caldente.
Just the best signing.
Probably both of our shouts for the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, I agree.
Year.
Yeah.
I think I would only have one that can contest, and we'll get to that later. I think we could talk about Russo getting Golden Boot, but I think it's also a bit of an asterisk Golden Boot
on
at
the
start
wing.
of the year, putting her on the left, Thierry Russo, and then obviously tying the Golden Boot with Bunny Shaw, a player who was injured for a big portion of that season. Yeah. It masks the numbers. Obviously, are something, but not everything, and they mask the reality of what Alessia Russo was last year. Okay. But now let's talk about this year. How are you feeling? The signings in, the signings out. You've brought in Kelly on a permanent deal.
Perfect. Yeah. I think post Euros, it's the best thing. She's so motivated right now.
Yeah, couldn't think of anything worse for my life. Taylor Hines.
Really solid move. Yeah. I think that is one of the more mature moves that we could have made. She's versatile. She's stable. She's WSL proven.
I think she'll be your signing of the season.
You think
personally?
So?
Taylor Hines' versatility as a player. Across the back line, you can play her at centre back, you can play her at left back, you can play her at right back, you can play her as a wing back if you really want. If Renee's really going for practicality ball, I think Taylor Hines is Premier League proven, but also just like an aggressive defender that you don't necessarily like obviously like a different kind of aggression to the McCabe's and the Foxes in terms of like their run and carry with the ball, but the intercept game. Being able to command a space without sliding. She's a great stand tackler. She can use both feet. That's what makes a great centre back, right? I think you have one really great right-sided centre back, one really great left-sided centre back. She is both. She can do both, and I genuinely think she will try and contest for a starting spot by the end of the year.
I agree.
Yeah. So the $1 Million Woman. Yeah. We have to talk about her.
This is what gets me riled up with this discussion. No, people think that just because you're a mill, you deserve to start. Olivia Smith is a fantastic footballer. She's incredible. What she did for Liverpool, first year signing, young player of the season. Right? She was able to inject life into that Liverpool side on both sides. Yeah. And I feel like, you look at her history, this is a player that recognized for her skill 1v1, exploiting space, her speed, and I think that's exactly what we need.
That $1 Million signing, the reason why the number is important is because it puts pressure. Yeah. It puts pressure on the wingers, right? Yeah. So if you are Beth Mead and you are staying, if you are Caitlin Ford and you are looking to win the Premier League this year, if you're Chloe Kelly and you're looking to cement yourself as an Arsenal legend, your coach has gone, we've spent $1 million on a winger, you have to work or you will get replaced. But the reality is that she has not come to sit on the bench, not for £1 million, and not for a contract that she could get anywhere else. Yeah.
On that though, this is £1 million spread over X amount of years.
True.
She's young.
Yeah.
She will need time. I
Yes.
think like any player, but I've also think that she didn't need necessarily time for Liverpool.
No.
And I think playing as a winger in a Liverpool team that I'm not going to say struggled to score goals, but they're not banging goals like we were.
No.
And we weren't banging that
Not
many goals.
fluid. No, it's not fluid football.
No.
It was very much like they gave her the luxury.
It was a poor
to
year
move.
by Liverpool by
Yeah.
their standards, coming from what was their best year
The year before.
since
yeah,
2013 when they won it. You know?
Yeah.
And so Olivia Smith to me is a signing for the future. The price tag makes sense. We can talk about price tags later when we're talking about the other teams, but
Yeah.
I think it's justified.
Let's go to your transfers out. Do you want to? Is there any players you want to pick up specifically that you think are big misses or across the board?
First,
Yeah.
I want to say thank you, Lena Hurtig.
Okay.
Thank
yeah.
you, Lena Hurtig,
Yeah.
for your years. You were incredible. You were amazing.
Yeah.
Don't let anyone say otherwise.
Yeah.
You were incredible.
Are you going to watch some Fiorentina games?
I'm going to totally watch them Fiorentina. Are you kidding me?
Nice.
Are you kidding me? Fiorentina ball?
I'm excited Fiorentina watch. I'm very excited.
Lena Hurtig.
I think she's a general, a service, like the service is crazy. Even that Euros, I don't know if that's probably her last Euros. Or was it her last Euros?
You're retiring, Lena
Yeah.
Hurtig.
No.
Don't
but,
retire,
no,
mate,
I'm not retiring her, but like even when she came on for Sweden, like the feeling in the stadium.
She's an impact player.
Was just
She's
like
incredible.
was just was
She's
just
so
magnificent.
underrated.
Yeah.
But
she's not done. She's not
not
done.
done.
But just to make it clear,
Fiorentina,
she's
you've
not
got
done.
a gem. You've got a gem, Fiorentina.
You got a hero. Yeah. From one Swede to another.
Rosa Kafaji.
Yeah. Do you want to?
Rosa Kafaji's she's a leggy baller.
Baller.
This player.
Yeah.
She's good. She is so good. She is just. I hate to say it, but she's just in the wrong system for me.
Yeah. Okay.
I think what she can offer in the middle of the park is something that we lack when it comes to creativity, even though we have someone like Mario, right? So we have someone like Mario, but what Mario brings is the defensive effort off the ball.
Yeah.
And Kafaji doesn't necessarily bring that. But when I watch her, I want her to succeed. I want her to just make a run from halfway, skipping past three, making a through ball.
Yeah.
I think the experiment with her on the wing was not great. I don't think she has the pace, or I don't think she has the awareness on the flank. But I do think that she will do an amazing job at Brighton.
At Brighton, yeah. So in that Brighton system, obviously a lot of replacements at Brighton in terms of like no Lasada in the middle.
No.
Do you think she's the like direct replacement?
I don't think she's the
kind of?
direct replacement, but I do think she injects creativity
Yeah.
in that midfield.
That's
and
fair.
and if we're looking at it,
Someone to carry the ball.
Someone
as
to
well.
carry the ball.
Just someone to trust.
you look at Kafaji in the middle
Yeah.
and the potential of Adjuman starting. We obviously know her as the impact sub.
Yeah.
And the player
But as a byproduct of your team being not far greater, but greater than the need for someone like her.
And I do think that another loan move is fine. I think I saw a lot of Arsenal fans online going, we need her as the impact sub. I think right now putting so much pressure on such a player that has already demanded so much respect coming from the Euros, so many people would be expecting her to replicate that form, and I don't necessarily think that's possible or even plausible. So
do you think it's interesting that you've so if we're looking at a player like Freya Godfrey as well, who's just gone to London City Lionesses, Kafaji, two midfielders with no real transfers in as midfielders.
Yeah,
Does that bother you, or do you think the mix you have now between Frida, Kim, Mario, these are three players who can take the load of next season?
I'm excited for Palova to come back. I really am. She was inarguably the best Netherlands player in the Euros. Yeah, she was so
in a very terrible Dutch tournament. Yeah. She was arguably one of the only shining lights. And Viv's 100th goal. But
yeah, great.
100th game goal, yeah.
But no, I do think that, and this is not a problem for Arsenal. I think it's actually a problem for the market right now. I think it's a problem in what we're looking for in players, that we do just lack a DM. We do lack that.
That's six.
Yeah, just a real marshal to dictate tempo, to be able to do everything offensively that they can do defensively. I think Kim Little is what she has that is, so unmatched is her IQ. And everyone can talk about, just how smart she is on the ball.
Natural leader.
I just fear when we get overrun in midfield in transition, which is inevitable. It happens in football. What will happen may be a breakdown. And that stems originally not even from the midfield. It stems from the defence. Yeah. And it stems from our defenders stepping out of line too much, being possibly overplaying.
Yeah.
I do think our defenders and our centre backs are probably our weakest position.
This is another thing that I want to talk about because Arsenal fans are I've heard Arsenal fans that are a bit angry about this, but the young player of the Euros, Michelle Adjumang, has gone on a season-long loan to Brighton. Does this bother you?
Well,
are you as angry as the Arsenal fans?
I spoke about it earlier. I don't mind. I really don't mind. For one, I think, and this is not to underrate Michelle Adjumang's performance in the Euros. She had a job. Yes. She did the job and she did that well.
Very well.
We don't need that job.
Correct.
In a season, you're not asking to have a super sub every game. And if you are, then there's obviously something wrong. I do think right now, as I said earlier, what she can do is get minutes to be able to mould into that squad so much easier.
Do you think there is a future for her at Arsenal?
I do think there is.
Yeah. The only way I would argue against that is because I think it's similar to Olivia Smith. I think that signing makes me question Adjumang's future at Arsenal. Right. A 21-year-old that's been asked for £1 million, and she's sitting there. And I understand she's a 9 and not a winger, and I get their different positions. But I look at Chelsea, and we'll get to Chelsea, and you look at a player like Aggie Beaver-Jones, who is getting given minutes by Sonia Bompasta.
But is that because they need her more than we need Michelle?
That would be the argument. I understand that, but when it's players that have the potential, the players that are good enough stick around, and I think you can't always, like, administrations can't always go to a 19-year-old and say, come back in 2 years, come back in 3 years, you will be our starting striker. It's really hard to give players the trust and the security when you win tournaments and titles and cups, you get more money and you start spending on players because contracts run out. And readily available talent, talent today or talent tomorrow, you pick talent today. And that's why players like Adjumang go on loan to Brighton, is because you're looking at the talent of tomorrow. And I think, for Adjumang's sake, I think she needs to have a good season to prove herself to not just to Arsenal, but neighbouring clubs that want to sniff around for an up-and-coming striker and say, I've scored 10, 12 goals this season in a Brighton side that's not necessarily going to be conducive to her system. No. But if she comes in and plays 90, what is she like from 0 to 20? What does that look like in the WSL? A physical take
demanding
on,
team.
Yeah, a demanding league. It will be interesting to see. I think I want to jump forward a bit. I want to talk about the predictions for this season. So Beth Mead, we don't know if she's staying or going. No. Do you want her to stay?
Look, at this point,
you go back and forth, no?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's a back and forth thing because Beth Mead, to me, it's a fascinating case study of a player that was just injured at the wrong time. Yeah. And I think we can all admit, as football watchers and football lovers, that there was a player there. There was arguably England's best player.
Unbelievable
there.
Player.
In 2022, she did something I haven't really seen replicated by a forward.
She's second in the Ballon d'Or?
Second in the Ballon. The highest ever by an Arsenal player. Yeah. I think now what we are seeing Beth Mead as is too far in comparison to what she was. Yeah. This is a completely different player to what we saw at her prime. So to me, I'm looking at what she can impact, how she can impact now. And how she can impact now is exactly what she did in the final. Yeah. I just struggle to see where she's getting minutes in a team now that is so reliant, especially on the flanks. We see on that energy and on that ability to take players 1v1. Yeah. But it's what she can do in offense. Yeah. It's what she can do in defense. And it's the stability that she
guaranteed.
Offers. She's a chameleon. She really is. She's underrated in her ability to move in fullback, right side of midfield, right wing. She can do it all on that side.
I think it's so hard to get rid of a player that's so useful. And I think that's
she's
Arsenal's
utility.
Conflict.
She really is
Arsenal's
utility.
conflict is, well, I mean, if London City are offering, if Michelle Kang is offering £400,000, do you say yes? Probably. If you're Beth Mead.
Do you say yes with less pressure?
Maybe.
It's on Beth Mead now. Really. It really is. Yeah. And does she want that pressure or not?
There's a few players, I mean, you're looking at like Leah Volti as well.
See, Leah Volti and Leah Volti to me would be she's going pretty much.
Yeah.
That to me is a problem.
She's going to Juventus.
Yeah,
yes?
Juventus,
Okay.
and kudos to Juventus. I think what Leah Volti offers is stability in the midfield where there possibly isn't, right?
Yeah.
And she's a player that we saw at the Euros be able to command a midfield, instigate press, but also be defensively reliant.
Like it shows even when she comes on in those last 20, 15 minutes of an Arsenal game, and it's a player that will probably be, I think it will be interesting if you guys go down in a game and you're all these players are going out that it impact subs. It'll be interesting to see where Renee looks to.
And this is where my Kyra Cooney cross take comes.
Yeah.
Blasphemy to all Australians for me to say that Kyra, I think, is not the best suited in that midfield when we need defensive cover.
Fair enough.
I think if we're playing 60% of the games that we will be playing where we know that we will be in possession, where we will be on the attack and scoring goals, Kyra's delivery, her set pieces are incredible. They're world class, in my opinion.
Of course.
But it's when we're playing those teams,
the nitty-gritty games.
And that's why she didn't play
in
the Champions League. At the end of the day, it's why she didn't play against Lyon, and it's why we put Kim Little. And I know a lot of people were like, why are we putting this geriatric in the middle of the park? Yeah. This geriatric proved in the Lyon away leg to be one of the most important players.
Yeah.
And I think what Kyra lacks right now, and of course she's young, what she lacks right now is the maturity on the ball.
Yeah.
It's the defensive nous, and it's also the positional awareness. And I think those three things are what make incredible and world-class centre defensive midfielders.
All right. Arsenal is done.
Yep.
So who are we going to talk about next? We're going to talk about our rivals, our joint rivals. We're going to talk about my team.
No, we should talk about your team.
Okay. All right.
We spent 40 minutes talking about my
team. All right. Yeah.
Let's talk about your team.
I'm in the hot seat now. Here we go.
Okay. Right. I think the obvious question here, outside of signings, is the gaffer.
The gaffer. Andre 3000.
An interesting campaign by Denmark.
Yeah.
An interesting campaign by Denmark.
Denmark.
In the Euros.
Yes.
And then is signed just in the middle of the tournament.
In the middle of the tournament, he said, "I'll sack this off. We're crap. we didn't get anywhere near where we were supposed to get.
We did Pernilla Harder's hamstring, and then he's off.
Yeah,
back to Manchester.
Yeah, Andre Glertz is an interesting pick. So let's dissect this, right? So a year ago we had Gareth Taylor. My friend, big Gaz ball.
Big Gaz.
Gareth from the sky, as I used to call him, because for anyone who doesn't know, he used to watch games from the top level of the Joey Stadium for the first 45 minutes. And then at halftime would come down and then watch the rest of the game from the dugout, And something would happen from 45 to 60.
It was his method.
And I don't know what happened, but it was... Honestly, these are times that we will treasure in future.
Oh, yeah, sure.
There are not many Gareths in the sky, but
I wish he was in the sky when Sino scored the double.
That's probably where he was in spirit. But the reality was, he had to go, and I think it was kind of the Chloe Kelly situation, facilitated a semblance of form and a lack of trust in the camp. I think the girls who have every right to side with Chloe Kelly in that matter lost faith in the gaff, and he had to go. It was the right decision at the time. The solution was Nick Cushing, who is an ex-City manager. He tried. I think he tried. I think it was clear that he did care, but to ask what was asked of him in that specific period of time, I think not many managers could have. Maybe that United game, he made a few mistakes. Yeah. That last United game on the day.
Ella Toon dunk.
We let Ella Toon did finish our Champions League hope, and that is sad. And that's why he is gone now, because he was a caretaker manager. He wasn't ever the final solution.
Yeah.
But the question was who? Yes, the question was always who. I think Glertz is an interesting manager purely from not just from where he was before. So when you're looking at a player you're looking at a team like Denmark that weren't necessarily successful, but got to the Euros in a way that was relatively successful with a team that is relatively undermanned. Yes, Pernille Harder is a fantastic player in the first half of last year. definitely made a case to show that she still got it.
Yeah.
But Andre Jeglerts is a manager that excites me because of the style of football he plays. Yeah.
What style is that, Ben?
Okay.
What style is that?
Formationally for Denmark, yeah, when the games I have watched, he has played a 3-4-3 or a 3-5-2.
Sure.
Right? And in my head, yeah, I am sick of Manchester City's firepower not being utilised to a ways and means that is beneficial to the players we have. Yeah. And a 3 at the back allows us, if our defence is solid and if Jeglerts' tactics hold strong, because if you look at their form, if you look at Denmark's form preceding the Euros, they have very low scoring games, but they hold clean sheets. They hold draws, right? And they were very miserly, very aggressive from the wings, and then facilitate those inroad passes. And then the 2 10s in that 3-4-3, the 2 inner 10s facilitate the striker really well. And then in a 3-5-2, the 2 strikers, one of them drops deep and one of them flies forward. So it depends on what we're trying to do and who he decides is our best 11. Right? And I think that is really the question. We have so many wingers. We have an abundance of wingers, an abundance of 10s. We have this girl right behind me, Vivian Miedema, who is now wearing the 10. Yeah. Is she playing in a 2 up front with Bunny Shaw, or is she playing in a 3-4-3 behind her? Are we playing a 4-3-3? Has he gone full pragmatic? I think there are opportunities to utilise Viv, Bunny, Mary Fowler when she comes back in a way.
Park?
Yeah, Jess Park, if she's going to provide the form she did in the back end of the 22-23 season. There is the 23-24 season, sorry. I think there is a lot of opportunities for players to mark themselves as ready for Andre.
I guess the main question is, with that Viv move.
Yes.
We saw a bit of her last season.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't necessarily work with Bunny because of the fact that they weren't playing together much.
Injuries.
Right? Injuries. It just didn't happen for
100%.
Does she start in that midfield now that you've picked up a player like Sydney Lohmann? If we're going on to the transfers, I think Sydney Lohmann is arguably one of the more underrated signings in this window. I think that she's a fantastic player. But where does Viv fit, and then where do your other players fit if you're playing a more congested midfield?
I need to mention last year. So last year we played Barcelona in a group stage game. Not the 3-0 loss. I'm not talking about that game.
One?
Yeah, not that one where some of my favourite players got treated like scrap metal. I'm talking about probably the best moment of the season, the moment where I messaged all my friends saying, my team is the best team in the world, is when we beat Barca 2-0 in a group stage game.
Yeah, we did it too.
Yes, we had Bunny Shaw on the field, but Vivian Miedema was immense.
Yeah,
immense in that game. And obviously, I mean, there was Lazelle was incredible. Hasagawa bossed 3 of the greatest midfielders that I think the sport has ever seen. I mean, it was just an incredible performance that shows, and we beat Chelsea as well without Bunny as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so Viv has had opportunities where she has facilitated that 9 role in a way that's not the same as what we know her to be, but she plays a little bit deeper. She facilitates chances with wingers. She opens up that half turn, that Claudia Pina half turn where she hits it from the edge of the box. That's what I want to see from Viv. I want to see her commanding the ball from the 9 and not necessarily getting into the box, getting those scrappy winners. Like that doesn't have to be her game for now. And while Bunny is injured, if Mary is not going to be there for a while, it is on her up the top, and that's why I think I am really excited to see what our midfield looks like. But right now, I think it is Yui and Lohmann as double pivots. Yeah, whether one commands the 6 and one commands the 8, we're yet to see. I think Lohmann, depending on even if we play in that 3-5-2. Lohmann has a lot of versatility. I think that's the part of the signing I'm most excited about, is that she can play right wing right midfield because she's played there for Germany. She can play in the 6. She can play in the 8. I think I believe that Lohmann should be the 6. And I believe Yui should be the 8. And I think a lot of people disagree with that, but I think Yui is better further forward in the field. It allows her yes, she's a great metronome. She can facilitate the ball around, and she picks her spots and her moments from deep, and her runs from deep are incredible. But I want to see her run more. She's a runner. She's not just a passer. She's a runner of the ball, and she's not really known as that physical being. But it's the speed of her play is very underrated as a whole, and I think that's where I want her. I want that to be the double pivot, and then that 10 will be Jess Park. I think this is Jess Park. This is kind of my, like, the buck stops here
Really?
with her. If, like, she is one of those players with the whole world at her feet. She's good enough to play for England. She came on for England, did a job at the time, but she hasn't broken in, right? Ella Toone is starting ahead of her for
Grace
England.
Grace Clinton is getting more minutes. Sub.
Yeah, he's getting more minutes for England than her. If you're Jess Park, this is the season to show I am the next in line. Yep. I am the next in line to take Ella Toone's 10, right? And I think if I'm playing that 3-5-2, while Mary is not fit, yeah, Mary will be in my 10. Will always be my 10. Mary Fowler, I love you. and I can't wait for you to come back. That video of you running post ACL gives me spirit.
What is in that City medical department?
Medical
we had like 10,000 ACLs in one season.
Yeah.
You get
She's
one
back
and
in
they're back.
6 months. Crazy running. Look, we're talking about a lot of good things. I think a lot of bad things have happened in this off season. I think we're not talking about the fact that we've lost Chloe Kelly, we've lost Leia Alexandri, arguably our best defensive player of last year. I mean, AG did have an amazing run, but then the injury did get to her. But Jill Roord is the one that we haven't talked about.
Jill Roord was the shock. If you remember, this was middle of the Euros.
Yeah,
it's 1 a.m. Australia time.
Yeah,
and I'm on my phone and I just send Ben a shocked picture of myself seeing the news that she's moved.
Yeah. But Jill Roord put a Facebook update, basically said, feeling homesick, and decided I can't be away from home. And
this isn't new for Jill. This isn't, I've had it.
Yeah, she's done it. She's done it at any club she goes to. She's there for 2 years and gets sick of it. And fair enough. That could be us.
What do you miss? What do you miss with Jill? I mean, because I remember for Arsenal, what we missed with Jill was a plethora of things, but I think what we missed was such dominance in midfield. Yeah. Dominance in terms of something that I don't think we replicated until we got Mariona Caldente.
Yeah, I think Mariona is a great comparison. It's the best way to describe it is the passes and shots that you don't see. Like when you watch a game of football, when anyone watches a game of football and you watch a player like Aitana Bonmatí, Alexia Putellas, Jill Roord, Mariona Caldente, she is just one of those players who creates something out of nothing. The talent was immense. I don't know how good she will be at Twente. I think they will probably win the league again, but I don't know how important it is for us in terms of where we need to go. Is there a replacement for her? Probably not, but do we just play differently? Yes, I think that's probably the way in which we facilitate the best way forward with a player that you can't really replace her attributes.
No. Yeah. And obviously you've picked up Bene.
Yeah.
And you love Bene.
Yeah. Iman Bene. I mean, we can talk about Iman Bene and Jade Rose. I'll talk about them together. Just two young, hungry defenders that want to break into a defence that wasn't necessarily great last year.
No.
A 5 at the back also offers more opportunities. I think Kasparai had a great year the first half of the season. Second half kind of flattened out a bit, and then her Euros was pretty abysmal, I'll be honest, as someone who was really excited to watch the Dutch in a group of death. I thought she would stand out, and she did for all the wrong reasons, sadly.
I think it just exposed
and Iman
her.
Bene was the opposite, was the complete opposite.
She was
unbelievable.
revelation.
Yeah, she was playing right wing. She was playing right back.
Yeah.
She was pressing like a menace. She was a 19-year-old who looked like a 25-year-old, like scaring players off. They were playing. Was it Spain in that quarter final? And she was playing striker at one point.
Yeah.
That's how far she'd pressed forward. Like she, you could tell when a player's got it. The strike of the ball is pretty immense. Like her lockdown work.
I haven't seen it since Brutes in 23.
I'm so excited for her. Jade Rose is a bit different. I think she'll come in. She is an interesting player because she's so two-footed. I've heard clips.
What's with you and two-footed players?
Two-footed players.
Team.
Yeah, I just want players who don't have a preferred foot. Yeah, just two bipedal ball is the way to go. I don't know if you saw that clip on TikTok of her just in our training ground, just 1v1ing every single forward or midfielder we have and just blocking every shot. Like they couldn't pass through her. It was just, the joke was yes, Jade. Yes, Jade. Just every time she blocked someone was yes, Jade. Obviously 1v1 work in 1v1 or rondo work on the track is very different to on the field, but if we're playing a 5 or a 3, if we're playing a 4 at the back and we have AG to cover, or we have Beck, Kanak, it depends where she goes. If she's that right-sided centre half and she gets to be that aggressive interceptor, I would love that. If she picks her moments right, but in a 4, she needs to be comfortable. She needs to get comfortable. She needs to get minutes. She needs to get used to the speed and the physicality of the WSL, which, I mean, Kanak and Greenwood are seasoned veterans.
Well, Kanak's injured now, right?
Yeah,
so
how much time?
Presumably.
Exactly. How much time until Kanak comes in? We still have players like Pryor who are young. We don't know where we're going to go with them. I think Jade has abundance of potential, but I think it's more of a sporadic break. I think Iman Bene could start, and I think Rose could start as well. But I don't think at full strength. I think Iman would start, and I eventually the goal is Iman would start, and I think at full strength Jade Rose does not start.
So. Yeah. This has been a very active transfer window in comparison to windows of the past. We know Gaza had a particular approach to transfer windows. He wanted to keep it quite low key. Yeah. He wanted a tight squad. Yeah. This is very different. You've signed players now. Yeah. Obviously, you've got Veen Rota.
Laura.
a player that does exist, despite evidence to the contrary.
How many minutes at Arsenal?
Well, I can see it on the
prep sheet. 230 minutes. 230.
But let me guess, 230. Crazy.
Wow, how did you know that?
Exactly.
Yeah, lovely. I think Laura. Look, Laura is a player that's going to serve a role and a utility, a purpose, where she's a means to an end.
What did she do when she came in on loan last season?
Not much. Not much at all. She had a few spells, a few games. Not really any memorable moments to my recollection. I think I think she just provides cover that's necessary to have, but also just sadly kind of someone you hope to not have to use in a way.
Yeah, fair enough.
It leads into a player that I actually do want, which is Ellen Vangerheim.
Stina Blackstenius regen.
Yes, basically. From what I've seen.
Please watch her highlights.
She's linked with Chelsea as well. She does play like Stina. She does look like Stina.
It's actually scary.
Aerial threat, good in transition. I really like her. I saw some ripper goals. My favorite thing is the way she takes balls with her back to the goal. There are 2 goals I've seen her score. One was against Rosengard and one was against Lena Kopping. And she just gets given the ball, a place where a striker never wants to be, and just finds a space for herself and a shooting angle. Doesn't have to put too much power. She's got power in her shot, but doesn't have to put the power because she's got the placement. And I think at 21... she's someone I want. If Chelsea wants her, she's good. Yep. That's a thing.
They don't need her.
Yeah, they don't need her.
Really
they definitely
Please,
don't. But
no more.
I want her as cover for Bunny, as cover for Viv, so Viv can stay deeper. I think she's a great choice. If she comes, I'll be very excited.
If we go to the other side of Manchester, because we'll leave Chelsea till
later. Well, we can do Chelsea now. We can do United now, but we'll do it quickly. I just want to mention the only things that matter. Ziyori Olme and Rolfo are there, and we have to mention the fact that we both loved Rolfo. I love Rolfo. She is an amazing player. And she is now playing for Manchester United.
Rolfo is a signing that any team would have benefited from.
Yeah, every single one.
She's she quite inarguably is one of the best left-sided players across every single line I've seen. I think the maturity to go back to left back for Barcelona, and in a Barcelona team that prioritizes possession. Remember, we're looking at a player who's a giant, who plays a Swedish model of football, who was able to assimilate herself within a Barcelona team pretty seamlessly.
Yeah.
We then go into 22-23 and she wins the Champions League off her own boot.
Yeah.
So she has striker's instinct as well.
Yeah, crazy.
My problem is, of course, what is it justifying?
I think if I may put my mind into Mark Skinner, our good friend, I think it's the experience. It's Champions League. They're going into a Champions League season pretty much.
Possibly a Champions League. We don't know yet.
Yeah, no. But
we don't know yet.
No. No, but possibly possibly a Champions League season that they're trying to stay alive in. And I can't think of a better signing they could have gotten. Like, this is actually bigger because of the size of their club, the history of their club that doesn't necessarily exist on the women's side. Their legacy, like, in the men's game, you can talk about Manchester United. Manchester United in the women's game is not that.
They're riding off an FA
Yeah,
Cup.
they're not that. They are not the same name. It's not the same name. It's not the same feeling. But the players that have come over are genuinely talking like Manchester United are that. They are this big, massive commercial institution, this titan that they're not. But Rolfo, they have just signed Rolfo. It shows that they have something. Yeah.
Yeah, but I do think at the end of the day, you can sign anyone. You can sign Rolfo. You can sign Aitana Bonmati. If you're still playing out of portables.
That's true.
And Sir Jim Ratcliffe doesn't even know who your captain is. I mean,
my
theory, as I've told you, my theory is I think Rolfo rocked up to Sir Jim Ratcliffe's office, said hello, and then he called the RSPCA to ask.
Jesus.
There's a giant. There's a giraffe out of the zoo.
A Swedish giraffe.
A Swedish giraffe out of the zoo. What is this? What is this creature in front of me? Not realizing that he's just got like a 3-time Champions League winner.
World class left back, best left back in the world.
This to me is like, you can make all the signings you want, but it's the culture and it's the institution.
That's crazy.
And we've seen Sir Jim Ratcliffe talk about how he wants to prioritize the men and have the men succeed before he even starts thinking about the women. I don't even think he's thought about women in the last 60 years. But when he has, it's about, we have Alatoon. Yeah,
I'm sure Ineos has like a female chair board.
Yeah, person. I bet they do. I bet they do.
I hope he knows her name.
Sure.
I hope so.
I just think, as I said, you can make as many signings as you like.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's do the players and does the team around this institution that is Manchester United, is it supported? And I don't think it is. I really don't think
100%. I think it will be a rude awakening in this Champions League, and I think it'll be weird to see Rolfo a part of that. As someone who is a serial winner.
Yeah, exactly.
A serial winner losing is a weird sight. Right, so now I want to, we can talk about the champions. Let's do it. Look, Chelsea, 6 in a row. This is 7, right?
This is
7. If they win at 7,
which it won't
seven
be.
in heaven,
it won't be 7. It's actually my prerogative to say that it's not going to be 7.
It's funny you say that when they just went invincible and they just got 60 points. Yeah,
I do think, and I think a lot of people like to put around the invincible and the record and the domestic treble, and I think it's obviously an achievement that is incredible. Yeah. But what was the levels of the WSL last season? What are we looking
Not
at?
Fantastic.
We're looking at. We're looking at the top. We're looking at the top goal scorers. Getting 12 goals each.
Yeah.
Coming from high
in 22 games.
High 20s with Bunny in the season before. We're looking at a City team that was crippled halfway through the season. We're looking
extenuating circumstances.
An Arsenal team that obviously focused on other things and was able to succeed.
That's
true.
And
then we have a WSL in general, a middle of the pack that were fighting each other. Yeah. It was kind of like, you have the Brightons, you have the West Hams, you have the Evertons, and they are of equal talent and of equal stature,
but nowhere near.
And I think what that goes to show is, of course, Sonia Van Pastor, her quality as a manager was proven, but I don't think that the league in and of itself proved to be a challenge for her. It wasn't the right challenge for her. And when then they did move to Champions League and they were challenged, we saw them
disintegrate. They got Thanos, right? they got the stones got snapped to pieces.
And I don't even think it's to do with the players. I think that they could they could lose 4-1 to Barcelona and then the week after beat any WSL
100%.
And I don't think that's, and that's not us saying that, so these players are just WSL standard in a league that's predominantly full of mid-table teams, right? No. This is a team that plays consistently the same style of football.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is the reason why they were unable to break down Barcelona. Emma Hayes perfected it. Yeah. I think, and I hate to say this, as an Emma Hayes doubter, a long-standing Emma Hayes doubter, her performance at the Olympic Stadium at Barcelona in 2024 was one of the best away legs I've seen, only eclipsed by Arsenal.
That was the 1-0, yeah?
The 1-0.
Yeah.
And they essentially shithoused their ways to 1-0. And that's how you have to do it against Barca.
But even after, I remember after that game, I remember her press conference post-match, and they were all like, "Oh, you must be wrapped with the result." And she went, "It's 90 minutes.
2 legs.
We've got 90 more minutes." And that feeling, that like, as much as I'm similar to you, Emma Hayes is I'm not fond of her, but relentless winner. This is a girl who knows who sets an expectation and can adapt, improvise, overcome any manager on her day. On her day, we'll see it as we get into the future of Woso when we talk about the World Cup coming up. We talk about the US women's national team and what their aspirations are in that tournament. But
I think Chelsea right now have to get over their two-leg-itis, right?
Two-leg-itis.
It is a thing that has, gone over multiple iterations of this Chelsea team.
Yeah.
And whether that's personnel change, bringing someone like Ellie Carpenter, which I think is a move that was bound to happen. Ellie Carpenter deserves a move in the WSL, I think. I think moving Baltimore further forward.
Yeah, she can speak French.
And then, well, good to know.
Yeah.
But I do think that something else that we saw from Chelsea was inconsistency when it came to the final third.
Yeah.
I think we saw players at the start of the season like JRK be incredibly dynamic and incredibly ruthless in the final third in the first half of the season. Yeah. And then a fall off. I think we can admit that. It was a fall off in the second half.
Yeah, 100. And it's hard to call it a fall off.
A fall off from their level.
Yeah,
their level's
the level, yeah.
Right,
it's a drop off. It was a drop off.
It was JRK and Hempo, right?
Yeah,
who were
the first half of this. Yeah,
the first half of the season,
wow.
Which I was genuinely astounded by their product, their final third product. But
the speed at which JRK was playing at the start of the year compared to the end was completely different.
And then I look at Guro and I think, is that a player that's
slowly done? Yeah, it's a question of where's her. I don't even know her best position.
Well, it's on the left.
I thought it was on the left, but then they started playing Sandy Baltimore over her. They started facilitating other ways and means in order to overcome the left side.
Did they not play her in the 10 at one stage?
So they played her in the 10. They played her on the right. Yep. Some of the best goals I've seen her score. She scored a class goal against Manchester City from a set piece, came from the right side. So they tried her on the right. Didn't work when JRK was unfit. But they moved Baltimore forward. They played Neve Charles on the left. Like, they did all they could to not get her in the side, it kind of looked like. And I don't know, she got thrown around at the Euros. She was playing left back for Gemma Granger's system. We will get to Gemma Granger in future podcasts. I think Ellie Carpenter has an interesting role to play in this Chelsea team.
Is she rotational?
In comparison to the other signings, so we'll get through the other signings. Yeah. Alba, not going to play that much, just rotational minutes. I think that's.
They have so many midfielders.
They have so many youngsters.
Jean-Francois dominated in the Euros and is going to get benched.
They've got what's her name, Dutchy, Captain.
Yep.
Unbelievable player. They've got Hamano as well, brilliant. Alba will get minutes, but it's just where, I guess. Liv Peng and Becky Spencer are also
Liv
just
Peng,
cover.
A phenomenal keeper.
A great keeper. And that is, I would say she's the best second keeper in the league.
Yeah.
By a mile. And that, like, Yamarin and Keating are both 1.5s. I don't think there's a number one and a number two. But that's the thing I like about this signing is that Hannah Hampton is clearly the number one and this girl's number two, but this number two is class. It's a fantastic signing, and it was not that I don't think it was impulsive. I think it was the right decision. Becky Spencer is that third keeper, the experience.
Becky Spencer's just happy to be there.
Yeah, exactly.
She's
the trophies.
She's just happy to be there.
Yeah, she's going to have a great time.
But obviously, Ellie Carpenter's got that experience with Sonia. Yeah. They know each other.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a move that sees Lucy Bronze. I mean, obviously she
Injured,
She
yeah.
played on one leg, and now
Yeah.
maybe that leg is gone.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I don't hope the leg is gone, but
I do.
my God, the way that I could talk for years about the fact that she played on a broken leg. And
we do not condone.
I'm just going to put it this way: if Leggy or I break our leg, we're not going to do this podcast for a week. Okay?
No.
You shouldn't be. And podcasting versus elite professional footballers, one is a little bit more physically demanding, but neither of which should be completed on a broken
Please
leg.
don't. Please don't play whilst injured.
Don't
Please.
take playing advice from elite footballers who break legs and keep playing. No. And congratulations on the Euros. I hope it's worth it. But Ellie Carpenter will play the first few months of this season.
I believe so.
At right back. Yeah. When Lucy Bronze is back, there are two natural options.
She did take her position at Lyon. I am stoic in believing
the changing of the guard.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the changing of the guard also meaning that you could see Lucy Bronze playing in the right side of the centre back.
Yeah.
She has done it before.
So what does that mean for Millie Bright?
Millie Bright is already
Natalie Bjorn.
Natalie Bjorn is a revelation.
What a player.
Another Swede who's just been incredible.
I hate how good she is.
She has been incredible.
That tournament was mental as well. She was so good.
And
that penalty, just a penalty, like wow. Oh my God.
Millie Bright to me is like so inarguably the best centre back that the WSL has ever seen.
And she's cemented herself as by far when I think of like a Titan centre back, that's her. Yeah, she's exactly. balls to the wall in terms of like just like any ball that's on the ground, any ball that's in the air, just she wants to be defending for 90 minutes. Yep. She actually likes defending. But I think the other option, personally, for Ellie Carpenter is the fact that they don't have a left back. No. Niamh Charles is not the answer. They're not going to win the Champions League with Niamh Charles at left back. They're not going to win it with Sandy Baltimore as a left back who inverts. They're not.
I think that it was obviously proven in the Stamford Bridge leg of the Barcelona game, and I had to bring it back to it, but it's just it just is the example.
But Ellie Carpenter stops that from happening.
You think?
I think so, and I think Sonia's a good enough coach to bring that left side to a resolute strength. Ellie doesn't need to overlap. She just needs to track and run. She is a physical specimen. The speed, the way she looks in preseason, she looks like a different runner. Yeah. This is the chance to develop a left back that solidifies the side that cost you 8 goals, basically. Yeah.
But it's that final end product for me. Yeah. My hot take is it's not even that hot. I mean, if you're watching the Australia game, you know this. I don't think that Ellie Carpenter can cross a ball to save her life.
No, but that's where.
and then that's where you're in a team that is constantly on the attack, and if you're weak from that side, you've already pushed so far up. That ball, if she can't even pass her first man. Yeah. That is gold for a team that just wants to play on transition.
That's true.
Who wants to play on the counter-attack. You just pass it straight out, and Ellie Carpenter's... And sure, she can run back, she can track back, but it's what we saw with... And not everyone can produce what Aitana produced, but it's that ilk where you're...
But that's who you're going to be playing
and that is who... In the big matches, that's who you're playing against.
The question is she good enough to play left back? I think she will be if she works with Sandy well enough on that wing to open up the space. I think... the central midfielder that she runs with, in my head, it's either Walsh or Cuthbert. In my head, it's Cuthbert on that side. Sure. That they have an instrumental role in making sure that Ellie is protected. But I think that is a huge in. The last player, there's only one more player to talk about with Chelsea, and it's your probably your least favourite player. She would be up there, but Sam Kerr.
Again, blasphemy by the... Oh, God, we're going to get absolute hate from these Australian fans. Yeah. I'm sorry, okay? Sam Kerr, to me, is a player who I can't argue with her quality. I cannot argue against the fact that she's a goal-scoring machine and is one of the best strikers that the WSL has ever seen. Yeah. To me, this team has moved beyond and past Sam Kerr. Yeah. And I'm not saying that because I think Maya Ramirez is the answer, because I do not think so. I think Maya Ramirez was a fill-in for a problem that Chelsea really needed to fix quite quickly. Yeah. But they have players now, and I think that's spearheaded by Aggie Beaver-Jones, who can do the job.
Yeah. So that is the question. That is the big the big Aggie Beaver Jones versus
She's
Kerr
too
question,
she's
right?
two-dimensional for me at the moment
Yeah.
to be able to be conducive for a season in that team.
Yeah.
She can do a job off the bench.
Yeah.
She can do a job in big moments, and I don't doubt that. I do doubt how injury prone she is now. And I do think that she offers something, but I don't think that's long term.
100%.
And I think that long term, she's not the answer. I think Chelsea fans have to move on from Sam Kerr.
Yeah, fair enough.
She had her best years there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think it's. I'm not a Chelsea fan. I am a Sam Kerr fan.
I'm neither.
I think. Yeah, I think she does have a place, and I think the question is, if you're Sonia, if you're a Chelsea fan, and you guys will know better than I will, but you have a 22-year-old who is looking to be the world-class answer to England's issues post Alessia Russo, and where she wants to try and take that role.
Who didn't get the opportunity in the years that we
definitely
thought she
not.
would.
And Adjumang did, right? And that was the thing, is that if you're going to bring on a player, it's not ABJ, and that's the issue, right? Is that if she came on and did what Adjumang did, you wouldn't be looking at Sam Kerr in this way. But there is a door open for her, which is the fact that Myra Ramirez was an answer to a question, which was, without Sam Kerr, who's the leadership up front? Because it's not a 21-year-old.
In an Emma Hayes team that demanded a number 9 like that.
Yeah.
And I think now Sonia's moved beyond that. I think
100%.
She's shown the product that she can produce from the wing, even in midfield.
Yeah.
I think she's shown that there are many avenues to go, and we're not wholly reliant on Sam Kerr anymore.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's hard to deny and even if there's the tiniest bit of Sam Kerr juice to squeeze out, I think it's worth testing purely from a feeling standpoint. And
squeeze it out. Leave the peel to the NWSL.
Feelings. I think feelings matter in this sport. I think we can look at numbers and we can look at ages and we can look at everything. When Sam Kerr comes back onto the field for the first time, will be ridiculous. The coverage, the PR, what she means, not just commercially but socially, culturally, to the club, to Australia. It's actually immense. It's actually crazy that she transcends like Australian football as a whole. She's the greatest goal scorer. She's arguably the most successful Australian player. Period.
I can't argue that.
Yeah.
Even though I have my own takes.
Yeah.
I can't argue that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all feeling. I just have a bad feeling.
It's a bad
Sam
feeling,
Kerr.
but the reality is that she's just the inevitable goal scorer. And if she can produce any semblance of goal scoring, even from a flat track bully standpoint, right? Bring her on against Leicester to get her minutes, get her 2 goals at the end of a game, right? That's playing her part. That's playing her part. That's the beginning, yeah? It's putting your stamp of approval for Sam Kerr on the little things before we start thinking about, she's the starting striker for Chelsea. We've talked about Chelsea. We've talked about Arsenal. We've talked about City. Let's talk about the rest of the WSL very quickly. Around the grounds. Leicester City. Let's do it quick. They don't
Relegation.
Relegation fodder. They are relegation fodder. It's hard to talk about them. They have literally 17 first team players.
They have no midfielders.
Yeah, no midfielders.
They have no midfielders.
Yeah, look on Leicester's women's website and see how many midfielders they have. It's quite funny. Like it's literally like, I think it's 2 or 3. It's pretty impressive. But they are they're at the bottom of our list, right?
Yeah.
So let's move up a little bit. Everton. What do you think of Everton? Anything to say really about
I think Everton has gone through periods where we're looking at them as a team that could possibly go down. Then they kind of, scrap their way to a win. They famously have a really good record against Liverpool.
Yeah.
And I think that those tight wins that they do get will see them stay up.
Yeah.
And I think that they'll probably be fined. I think the Mielda loss is massive.
Yeah.
But I do think that they picked up a Barca player.
100%.
I mean, we're all kind of wanting one. It's interesting that Everton got one.
Yeah.
But they did. And I
Martina Fernandez.
And I do think that they will stay up.
Yeah, I think they're just a team that kind of squeeze out their home games. They squeeze out wins.
Yeah.
Like, I think obviously you look at, I think last year they beat us, right? Like they have games, they have players that can definitely do some damage, especially in those flanks. They do like running those flanks, and their midfielders are very high intensity. They press really hard. They'll be interesting to watch when they come up. They'll get some results, I reckon. If they're staying up, they have to do something. Next, West Ham. West Ham are great to watch.
West Ham are fun. If you are not tuning into West Ham games and seeing a absolute...
Just remember, Londoner goes for North London, thinks West Ham is fun to watch.
No, but if you're not looking at a Shakira Martinez performance,
what a player.
You're missing out.
She's so
This
good.
is a player that came into the WSL unknown, pretty much, and completely rocked the world.
Shakira,
10 goals.
Yeah.
10 goals. She got double digits.
10 in 10 games?
Something like that.
10 in 12 games.
She was the top goal scorer of the calendar year of 2025.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. Ripper player, I think.
In a team that was missing goals.
Relying
on Mini Gori.
Yeah, I mean, Gori and just all round a team that just like you didn't know where they would end up finishing because they had moments of magic, and then teams that they lose to or draw to lower down in the table. I think you don't really know what you're going to get from them, and then they got Vandela from Lyon, which is a great signing.
I think any signing from Lyon usually
you pull any bigger fish, you take any of them. But Martinez, the fact that they managed to keep her after that run of form.
I know, I did see there were obviously rumours of her leaving, but I think the thing is that you're staying in a team that you've succeeded in that took you on from Germany, I believe. And she obviously made her mark, and I think that she could go down as a half season legend, or go down.
Streets will never forget.
Legend.
24, 25 end of the year.
Or she could cement herself in a West Ham team that could finish mid-table very easily.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. 25, 26 season for West Ham. All eyes on Shakira, really. Yeah. Liverpool, no captain.
My domain. Thank you, Liverpool.
Gazball. Gareth Taylor is managing Liverpool this season. Yeah, he's back. Guess who's back again. There is no sky deck at the Liverpool stadium, so I don't know what he's going to be doing.
Go from the bunker.
But
look up from the bunker.
Kept Nagano, no Liv Smith, no captain. But have brought in.
We took their best player and their captain.
Yeah, impressive.
It is to me remarkable still that we have a team like Liverpool, as an institution like Liverpool, who perpetually underperforms.
Yeah, it's a different kettle of fish when we're looking at Liverpool's women's side. I think the Sam Kerr signing will be an interesting one. The Scottish Sam Kerr.
The fake Sam Kerr. Don't put
the real Sam Kerr. The Sam Kerr that plays football versus the Sam Kerr that doesn't. Let's do that honestly. I think she'll be an interesting cover.
I think it's good.
Great. Her and Herbinger, in the midfield.
The
Hobinger
of death.
Oh, is that what you call it? The Hobinger of death. I think it'll be an exciting season. I think I don't like Gareth Taylor now after post not signing, but he did grind out results. Very good against the bottom sides. Relentless, fast moving attacking flanks. If their fullbacks get into shape, they can grind out some wins. I am actually quite bullish on this no Liv Smith, no Taylor Hines Liverpool. I think they'll do better than people think. Yeah. Moment of silence for Tegan Micah. You will never walk alone. She is great, but she's gonna love life. She's gonna love life.
She's gonna love.
Yeah, what she's doing the Becky Spencer.
My hot
take.
Right? My hot take for Leon.
Yeah.
She takes Endler's spot.
Well, I mean, what is Endler dying?
Yeah, she's being.
Endler's how old now? 34.
She's 34. She's taking her spot now. I don't like, as we talked about, I don't like taking practice matches into consideration. But the last 6 months for Christine Endler in big games,
not fantastic.
That woman doesn't know where her line is.
She got remontaded.
she falls into her own net more times.
Yeah, I think she's. Look, it'll be interesting to see Tegan Micah. As an Australian,
she's Australia's best keeper.
Yeah, I stand by that. Stood by that at the 2023 World Cup. Yeah. It's a shame. It'll be interesting to see if she actually gets minutes for Lyon. That'll be really exciting. She gets Champions League minutes as well. Brighton.
We talked a bit about Brighton.
Yeah, we did.
Arsenal.
We did because of Adjumang coming in.
And Doozy though.
In goal. Yeah, amazing goalkeeper. Ripper. Yeah. What an amazing performance in the WAFCON. And I mean, they've lost a lot though. They've lost two of my favorite Brighton players. I was quite bullish on Brighton last year. Vicky Losada has
A
been
legend.
What is like
legend.
a sergeant general of the WSL as a whole, just around the grounds, ultimate journeywoman.
Yeah.
Like just did everything. Goro Bergs fan. As someone who loves Norway, repping Norway right now, she was just a player who just rock solid at the back. But they have cover. Kafaji come in.
Talked about her.
Yeah,
Think she's going to be big.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
If she's not big, it's egg on my face.
Okay, let's do it. Ajame, how many goals for Brighton?
How many goals for Brighton?
Goals for Brighton?
I'm going like from 9 to 11 goals.
9 to 11. Okay, I'll give you the unders. I'm going to go over. I think she gets 12.
12 goals.
I think she gets 12 goals in 22 games.
Okay.
I think there'll be a hat trick in there.
A hat trick.
I reckon against the Leicester at home, she bags a hat trick early as well, like 30-minute hat trick.
Okay.
Your rivals, quote unquote,
they're not rivals.
Yeah,
they're not rivals. You need
Tottenham
to be.
Hotspur
you need to have at least some
Yeah.
level of competitiveness outside of one Martha Thomas goal.
Yeah.
To actually, be competitive.
I get you. It's not really a North. It's just a North London exhibition. Yeah, it's not a derby. It's an exhibition where North London gets to highlight the fact that North London is red. And it's really sad because Rasso is leaving. They don't have a lot of movement. They've lost their manager from last year, right?
Yeah.
And they've brought in a new guy, Martin Ho. Haven't seen much about him. Again,
the jokes speak for themselves.
Yeah. I'm not pro or anti Ho. I don't know anything about this guy. I don't even know if they have many deals coming up. It's really, really a weird situation where Tottenham could go down. Honestly, Tottenham could go down.
I'm hoping.
Yeah, you could.
And
pray.
it's not even from the perspective of an Arsenal fan. It's from a football perspective. They play such ugly football.
Do their veterans get them over the line?
No. Beth England is not going to.
She scores goals. She does score goals.
Beth England scores goals.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm
Martha
looking at someone
Thomas.
like Jess Naz, and that's someone who I don't want to come home.
Yeah,
we can send her away again.
That was a very good sign. Very good signing for Spurs. A good signing for Arsenal for Spurs to take. Like they did well. Ellie Roebuck is now in Villa.
I like that move. I really like that move. For Villa, I think what they need is stability now. I think we saw a really phenomenal 22-23 from them. I mean, Rachel Daly is... I think Rachel Daly is one of the most underrated players in the WSL. I think the way that she's been able to carry Villa...
Just consistently.
She's a chameleon.
Yeah.
And she can play everywhere, but her role right now in the forward line is... It's up there with some of the best in the WSL. She could move anywhere she wanted to. Now, in the later stages of her career, I understand she wants to probably stay, and that makes sense. But in her prime, she could go anywhere. And for Villa right now, it's who they need to lead them. She's their captain, and I think Villa will be fighting for what will be the Europa League spots, I presume.
Yeah, they play that. I mean, some points of last year they played that 4-4-2.
Yep.
They do those long, wide crosses to allow Daly to do her thing. But also, Ellie Roebuck, as much as she's young, she will be a leader, commander at the back, and makes up for the fact that they're losing Jordan Nobbs. Your favourite podcast's favourite team, London City Lionesses. We've
held off for a reason.
Yeah, we've held off because we need to we kind of go in depth with these lot because this is the first quote unquote independent club in the league. They have a manager whose father was the Lyon women's manager in the most successful period of Lyon's history. They are a team that was very successful last year solely based on their financial takeover and contributions from Michelle Kang, and now have the son of a successful manager who was a software engineer who now has become a strength and conditioning coach, and then into actual coaching. He coached PSG in 2022-23 and then was coaching in China before that and is now at London City Lionesses and was part of their promotion campaign, which was very impressive.
It was an impressive promotion campaign. I think they got a lot out of Aslani. I think they got a lot out of the system that they were playing.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are issues.
Yes.
And it would be remiss not to talk about those issues.
Yeah.
From purely a standpoint of caring about women's football as a whole,
Yeah.
the injection of private investment.
Yeah.
No matter your instinct to want to support women's football investment, women's football growth through private investment,
and women-led women's football investment.
There is an issue when it comes to how we're enabling somebody to just funnel money into a team without taking into consideration that this woman, Michelle Kang, is using London City, is using Lyon, is using Washington as her own money bank. And I purely believe that. If she cared about women's football, she would be investing it in the leagues. She'd be investing it in
the nation academies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why aren't we seeing her do what she's doing for London City to the other teams? And it creates an unfair advantage, I believe.
Yeah.
And
we'll find out. We'll find out.
And
looks like.
16 signings.
Jeez,
I mean, I'm
the most
glad.
record history.
I'm glad that they can make so many signings.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they're appealing.
Yeah.
I don't know what that appeal is necessarily outside of the individual success of London City. I don't think Jana, Van der Donk, Nikita Paris, I don't think their moves make tidal waves for women's football. If anything, I do think that they actually disable a lot of other teams and that diversification of talent to spread within the WSL.
100%.
I find it frustrating that we are constantly looking at these signings as being another step towards them staying up. I think we've seen...
It's how much do you need to spend to stay up?
We've seen the coach talk about it.
Yeah.
I mean, he said the only way that we're able to stay up practically is by spending money. And I mean, I'm glad that he trusts his system.
Yeah. But is it just full? I don't think it's foolish to say. I think it's brutal honesty in the reality that obviously money wins games. We're not going to sit here and say that the importance of money in a capitalist enterprise that is professionalized football is not money. The money is correlated probably about 86-88% with the most successful teams having the highest wages. Yep. It happens in the men's game, it happens in the women's game. And the reality is that there are cultures that transcend that. So, for example, academies, the way in which you do it, the traditional route through academies, investment, through sponsorship, right? Having an independent owner who, again, I say this as someone who looks at Michelle Kang. I don't think she's trying to make money. I think she is trying to retain money. Yeah? It is... You do not, if you want to make money, you do not own football clubs. It is a business you only lose money in. Yeah, talk to the Glazers, talk to any owner of a club and ask them if they make money. They just use it to diversify their portfolio. And Michelle Kang is no different.
Her intentions are there.
Which arguably makes it worse. Is that she believes that her cause is more progressive than others because it's women led and women run for women. And the reality is that she's doing things on her own, almost omnipotently, right, in the sport. Yeah, I think that's the issue, is that a player like Jana is not a signing that London City acquired. It was a means to an end of the fact that Barcelona, the most successful institutional team of the last 10 years, bar Lyon, couldn't afford to keep their one of their up and coming defenders. It's not about them wanting a player. It was about they could get her because the most successful team can't run itself financially, and this team can because it has independent ownership.
The malaise of girl boss feminism that I think is brainwashing the London City Lionesses fans, or at least the appreciators, is genuinely concerning. I think
it's insane. It's genuinely insane.
If you're not thinking about where they're getting their money, how they're spending it, and Michelle Kang as something that is endemic within the men's game that we do not want to see in the women's game. Yeah. Private ownership, multi-club ownership has only caused...
When we say that as Arsenal and City fans, we understand there is hypocrisy in what we're saying. We understand that my team getting money from Etihad Airways and
my team getting money from Visit Rwanda.
Yeah, we understand that there is lesser and worse evil, but they are all evil. It's not about that. It's about the institution that is an individual specimen deciding what happens basically wherever they go. Yeah.
I don't agree with all their signings. I think the Zellum Kennedy signing is a shocker.
Yeah.
I think Kennedy has proven herself to be far gone in the WSL based on one game.
For that reason.
Katie Zellum to me is a footballer that is
don't- yeah.
incredibly average.
Yeah,
and that's
not
coming
to
from a
that
player.
level.
I'm not a player, and I say this by saying like I'm looking at her in comparison to her peers.
Yeah.
and that's where I'm calling her
Yeah.
average.
Yeah.
I think Saki, I mean, is a very fine player,
Yeah,
but
it's Sergeant General.
yeah,
of
but
the-
it's
of the
it's
WSL
it's like
Army.
signing Kim Little. You
Yeah,
know, I
it's-
mean, we love having Kim Little, but no other team is running after Kim Little.
Squeeze the last
Yeah.
ounces of football.
I think
out of her before
Linari
she goes.
post Euros
Yeah.
was a good signing if you're looking at a
But how many
defender.
years? How many years? Is
How many
in
years
that?
are we
Is-
having
is,
her?
Is that this is the thing? It's practical, pragmatic work. That is, we have to stay up this year. We have to stay up this year. So let's sign players, not for tomorrow. Let's sign players for the now. And it's surprising when you're looking at like parallel that point with Jana, who is 23, Lucia
Who I think is their
Corrales-
best signing.
Lucia Corrales, who's linked to London City, a 19-year-old.
Again, another forced signing by Barcelona.
Yeah, again, it's a situation where who can afford it? No other team can. No other team is willing to put the money in
No.
to a £430,000 release clause player, and Kang has triggered it. I don't know if it's confirmed yet, but again, versatile young player who could be the face of London City Lionesses in a few years. That's how important that is. We'll get more to Kang later on, especially in our podcast life. She will be a huge factor. But Michelle is ever present, and we will talk about her, and we will have fun.
Yeah.
I will have a lot of fun dissecting Michelle.
Should we do
Kang.
our predictions of the WSL?
Oh, okay, let's do the
Yeah.
WSL predictions. Okay, so do you want to go from 12 to 1 straight away? Just
yeah,
go
I mean,
for it.
we both got Leicester.
Okay, we both got Leicester at the bottom.
I've got Spurs as 11th.
You've
No agenda there.
Okay.
Purely based on play.
Just play. Okay,
Yeah.
you go. No, you go as well.
And
You
then-
go the whole way.
And then Everton 10th.
Yeah.
LCL, I'm putting London City as 9th.
That's. I agree with you, but
Again,
we could
purely
be
not
wrong.
unbiased.
We could be like there is a. I'll get to when I get to my prediction.
I've put West Ham as 8th.
Yeah,
and
okay.
I've put Liverpool as 7th. I do think that Liverpool will prove to be a bit better than
Okay,
what
so
many people are
you're
saying.
similar to me.
Yeah.
You're similar to me. I thought you'd have West Ham above Liverpool.
No, I think it's interchangeable.
Yeah,
I really
fair
do.
enough.
I think this whole mid-table is
Fifth to
interchangeable.
ninth
Yeah,
is crazy.
I think I've put Villa 5th. I think just their experience in the WSL, they know what they're doing. And as I said, the LA Roebucks.
Daly or Adjumang, who scores more goals?
Rachel Daly.
Fair
Rachel Daly.
enough. I'll take the overs.
I've
I'll
put
go.
Brighton
You know what?
6th.
For the season, we'll do like a kit wager.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Daly scores more, I'll get you a Daly kit. And if Adjumang
For what? I'm not taking a Villa kit. I used to ruin my collection.
No, fair enough. I can't do
With
that.
a Villa
All right.
kit. You can
But-
get me a Michelle Adjumant Arsenal shirt.
I'll get you an Arsenal.
And I'll get you
Adjumang
nothing.
top. Okay, no, that's fair. But Adjumang, I think Adjumang scores.
I don't think Brighton finished 6th.
Yeah.
United 4th.
Yeah.
I would love to put them lower. I really would, but I do think
They're good enough.
unfortunately their signings will make a difference.
But there's just a gap. I think it's just a genuine gap.
I do
between,
think, and you
the 1
can't-
to 4 and then 5 to 9.
I'm glad that United think that they can do well with 5 league draws
Yeah.
and continue with their 1-0 Uniteds.
Yeah.
But like it gets to a point where
The defense is conducive to very top 4. Very simple top 4.
I think Cité.
You have
is
us.
third.
You
Yeah,
have us
I think
third. Fair
I
enough.
do have you third, and I think it's because despite the injuries, you would have gone on to have an incredible season last year, and I think not having Champions League football does count for something.
Yeah.
I've put Chelsea second,
Shock. Guys, shock.
It's
the
totally a
Arsenal
shock.
fan has Chelsea second.
and Chelsea will remain very good. I just think Arsenal will be better.
Do you think they win a trophy?
Chelsea?
Yeah.
They can get a Subway.
So
They
you
can
think they'll
a
get
Subway.
one? You think
Yeah,
they get one?
take a Subway.
So they don't win the Champions League?
No way.
And they don't win the FA Cup?
No.
Okay, so they win one trophy. Leggy has them winning one
We do
trophy.
the treble.
Okay, sweet. You do the treble.
We do the
Arsenal
treble.
does the treble.
We're
All
doing
right.
the treble.
Yep, the Arsenal fan thinks they win the treble. I'm the City fan, and these are my predictions. Leicester, you're going down, and I'm not. 12 isn't the position on the ladder; it's how many players you'll have at the end of the year. Everton are 11th. I think Spurs finish ahead of them. I think Everton have some grind out good wins, but I think Spurs will. I think there are players that have more room for improvement at Spurs than Everton does.
Yeah.
I have LCL. So I've prefaced this with 5 to 9. I genuinely think you could swap them around any way you want. Have fun with it, because Kang could finish 5th. I genuinely think London City Lionesses could finish 5th, and that would be a scary world to live in, that their investment got them not just top half, but like edging in on United. If they get close to United, it'd be impressive. But I have them 9th because I have to believe that they're going to come 9th. Brighton, I have 8th. They have good players, and Adjumang will do well, but it's the defence. If they get that defensive structure, I don't know. Villa, we said it before, the system is good. Bullish on Gazball. Liverpool will be 6th. I have them only one higher than you. West Ham 5th. I like West Ham.
You like West Ham?
I like West Ham, and I think Shakira will just keep going. United 4th. I have them getting knocked out of the Champions League. I reckon they make an FA Cup final and lose to my team. That come 3rd in the league, make the FA Cup final like we always do every single year. We love that trophy. Merchants. We are FA Cup merchants. I would love the domestic cup double. That would be great because that. And I think it's very plausible. Yeah, that would be my goal because plausible. I personally don't think. I've seen people saying we're closer to Arsenal than, or even above Arsenal. I think it's ridiculous. I think our depth is very evidently poor in certain positions. If AG goes down, we saw what happened last year. It crumbles, right? The AG train is what runs the Manchester City football club, and if we don't have her, there is no cover. There is no left-footed cover like Alexander Greenwood.
Full
Alexander the Great. I have Chelsea 2nd. I have Arsenal 1st. But
not by me. This is a purely independent thought.
I have Arsenal 1st. They do not win anything else. They win the league by 1 point. Chelsea
1 point.
Chelsea do not win the league, but they make the Subway Cup the easiest cup run of all time, and they annihilate the Champions League. I think they're going to win. And they're going to win badly. And I think it's going to show mainly because I you know me, I love Barcelona more than any person on the planet. My favorite players, the most amazing team I've ever seen. The fitness required of these players with the amount of players they have, the youngsters that are going to be put into
But you're putting Barcelona as their main rivals. You don't think that they'll get knocked out by Lyon?
I think if Lyon come up against Chelsea in the Champions League, Sonia will beat Geraldez. Not necessarily the players are better, but
tactically. You think she's learned?
Tactically, I think that Chelsea, especially if I see. Look, I don't see Sam Kerr playing many minutes. I see her playing minutes, but not many minutes. I see Beaver Jones getting more minutes. And if she plays in a final. If she plays in a semi-final up front with JRK on the right or Lauren James on the right, and they have Baltimore on the left, and they have Ellie has cemented herself in the starting lineup on the left side or on the right, I don't care. I just think they have it. I think this is the year where they set aside. They've done the league. What is the motivation to get over the line this year in the league? Less. The motivation is don't get battered 8-2.
This is a team, though, that continues to say that they want to win everything.
That's true. And I know
I get that's the PR. Yeah, you have to say
Sonia wants to win everything. I get that. But I think the Champions League, that 8-2 stings harder than the fact that they dropped off a little bit in the league.
You think that 8-2 stings harder than the 1-0 that Arsenal beat Barcelona? You think that Barcelona are not equally, if not more,
capable of winning the Champions League? I think you guys will try and retain, but I think there is a genuine feeling from what I've seen is that you're going for the league. This is the year to go for the league. Like if you're gonna do it now, if not now, when? That's how I see it. That's how I see it.
We didn't talk about it earlier, but even the potential signing of Alyssa Thompson, I just don't think that adds.
Oh yeah, for Chelsea, that adds nothing. But it's not the fire. I don't think it's the firepower. It's the overwhelming speed at which they play that has worked against nearly every side but Barca, right?
It's the core. Yeah. The core of that team, I believe, is pretty much unmatched outside of Barca.
I genuinely think 4 teams can win the Champions League, one of which is requiring 11 players to play about 40 games this year. I don't think Barcelona
and you don't and I don't want to see Barcelona win a Champions League and then risk their players.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Aitana in her 43rd game of the year. Literally dripping sweat, just going like, what is my life? Why am I getting bullied by Cuthbert in the first leg of a game where she looks so much fresher than me? It's because your team they are financially built to win the Champions League, and I can say that about Lyon.
And if they don't,
I can say that I think I think if they don't win the Champions League, they will win the Prem. But But I genuinely think they don't win the Prem this year, and it's because they're going to be bullish on the Champions League. And that's how I see it. That's how I see the WSL. But again, we will talk about the previews. We in coming weeks, we'll talk about the games that come up. Obviously, City's playing Chelsea. Obviously, Arsenal's playing LCL first game of the season. That will be fun. Yeah,
I finally get to justify.
You get to watch.
It is a hate watch that is justified, not simply just because I don't like Michelle Kang. It's now I don't like Michelle Kang and I'm supporting my team. It's great.
Well, there'll be some interesting matchups in that first week. Let's put aside the WSL. Let's do some of the other teams really quickly. You watched the Barca game? Yeah?
Loved it.
How good?
Great.
Good to be back. How bored were you without watching them?
Well,
let's be real.
Watching the practice matches was...
They didn't play witches' hats, by the way. They played Al Hammer CF and they beat them 8-0.
Yeah, and watching the practice matches, it was great. I got to see a slice of what would be an absolute murder. It was murder. I don't feel sorry for Hammer, and I think anyone who does, I genuinely think you...
To the Al Hammer ultras out there, I apologise how much I enjoyed your team's
You
murder.
should not feel bad for your team doing well against a weaker team, a team that just was
Be glad you got a shot on target, to be fair. That was impressive.
They just proved that they...
Who's your MVP of that game? 8-0, obviously there's a lot to pick.
I think it has to be Caro.
Caro.
Yeah, Graham Hansen. I think, to me...
I'm surprised you said Caro. Because I thought you were going to talk about someone else.
Well, I mean, Aitana, obviously. My goat, Aitana.
Yeah.
I think the connection there was evident. I mean, how many minutes in?
Oh, she was crazy.
That connection is back.
That right side, the right side.
Caro is back, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, Salma and Esme took a while to get into the game, really.
Salma's taking a while to get into any game, actually.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I know, I understand, but I thought you were going to say Claudia Pina. She
Claudia,
came on.
And the question for Barca for Claudia Pina, does she escape the super sub status?
No. She's the best super sub in the world. Best super sub in the world.
You cannot be player of the match.
She's the best substitute ever. Like, I think this is why the team of the years need a 12th man, and that's where Claudia Pina goes. She's the 12th player because she came on. There was no rust. It was like the cleanest WD-40 transition I've ever seen. Like, she scored a hat trick in 22 minutes. Yeah. 22 minutes. The second goal, I swear she scuffed it. It went in the top corner. I don't know how she did that. Caro was immense. Caro's my favourite player at Barcelona. Alexia Putellas is the greatest player.
She got no goals, no assists.
She had some amazing moments, especially in that second half. It took a while for her.
You rue the day that you missed that chance that would have been...
Oh, yeah, Alexia's passed the Pio. Yeah, that's fair. But look, Ella did her thing. Yep. 2 goals again. The best output player in the world. It's insane. I think she's criminally the most underrated player in the world. They were just amazing. But the question is, what I did like, the substitutions. So quick. I mean... So they were 4-0 up, 60th minute, Aitana Alexia straight off. Yeah. They showed what Barcelona looked like post... the 2 gods of the sport out of the game, and they just still come. I know it's a different class level, but it's exciting to see. Despite the fact they had this great exile, you had Engen go, Rolfo go, Corrales go, Yana, Martina, Roebuck, all of these players go, and then they chuck in a 17-year-old in the middle. I'm so scared that they're just going to pull out a bunch of crazy 17-year-olds, and we're going to be like, of course, how did we not know that this 17-year-old from La Masia is going to come in and just...
And then that's the level. Patry didn't even need to play it. And Patry last year was the difference between their campaign 2 seasons ago to their campaign last season. I think we can all admit last season's campaign was amazing, but had its moments. And those moments came when Patry was not fit.
Yeah. Aitana's the flair, Alexia's the oil, but Patry's the wood and the sticks. Yeah. You need the base, you need the substance, and the base of midfield. I think it'll be exciting when she comes back. She's just a ripper player.
And Arsenal will take her
if
Barca are having a garage sale.
Alexia, come to City, please. I beg, I pray. Do we have to do Lyon?
Yeah, and I think the bigger talking points here are the signings, and just who they've got.
Yeah, they signed a whole city.
Ingrid Engen to me is a player that I would have taken at Arsenal. I think she's a player that's there that is a utility. And
Just a ripper player. Just can do everything. Centre back.
I've always
CDM,
said that as a
8.
centre back to me is she's at her best. I mean her performance against Lyon in the 23-24 final
ripper.
was insane.
Yeah.
I think when you're looking to the future though, you look at Lily Johannes, a player whose ceiling is to me immense. I mean, I think she's
scary good.
I think she's the best product that the USA have as a young talent.
The best product that the Netherlands could have had.
Yeah, and I think the Netherlands will rue the fact that they weren't able to get her to commit.
Yeah.
Because I think Lily Johannes is everything that we want to see from Lauren James. Lily Johannes is and can be.
It'll be exciting to see.
Her mentality is insane.
Very young, but we'll see how she fits. Even how she slots into this Lyon side, even how many minutes she gets. There's so much competition in that team.
Yeah, and in that midfield, and then that's where Corbin Albert.
I mean, how do we talk about Corbin?
On a pure footballing perspective, I do think people like to think so her politics are problematic, but she must be a good footballer. She must be a good footballer, right?
That's how you get away with saying those things.
Right?
She's okay. She's distinctly like a role player.
She's not getting into Emma Hayes' 2017, and I genuinely believe that.
You know the worst thing I can say about a player, gets the ball off better players, gives the ball to better players.
Exactly. Yeah. But I think the big signing from PSG will be Katoto.
Maria Antoinette.
The best name alongside Sina Blackstenius.
Maria Antoinette Katoto. Yeah.
I think that she
Leon them eat cake.
That's how I think she and Yuli Brandt,
Yula Brandt is the number one.
Yeah, I think she's the number one. They change that Lyon team from being a team of slightly immature forwards in terms of just like pure rawness to a team of very mature players in that front line, in that final third. And I think that they do a job. And Katoto, if you're looking for a goal, you look at Katoto.
I mean, it's just that the thing with Yula Brandt is she's going to start. She's going to play. She's going to cement that side. Everyone will know their position is behind Yula Brandt on that left side. Lily Johannes will come in for her. It'll be good. Katoto is questionable because they have so much firepower. Having De Mornay, having Chewinga, having Ada. They're not old. They're not that old.
And these players, and they're not players that you can easily push aside to fit in someone like Katoto, despite Katoto's quality.
100%. I think it's a question of where does like Katoto is the number one. I think she is the best player. But what does that mean for De Mornay, a Ballon d'Or nominee? What does that mean for Chewinga, who could probably be NWSL bound at some point?
She can join her sister.
Exactly right. What does that mean for Ada Hegerberg, a Titan,
seasoned professional?
Yeah, arguably Norway's best.
The forgotten Ballon d'Or winner.
Yeah, absolute menace of what her output is unquestionable.
I just think that you can't deny the fact that someone like Katoto, but someone like Brandt. I mean, Brandt to me, her performance in the Euros was, I believe, up there, equal to Klartable in terms of Germany's best players.
No, I think she was the best player. She wasn't talismanic because Germany were amazing as a collective, especially in that first game.
Yeah.
When they're trying to walk the ball in the net, that Christian Vuk system. But the reason I like her is she just gets to every ball. Yeah. She's so
her
fast.
Work rate is
She's
insane.
So fast on the wing, on the flank. She goes so wide. Yeah. She goes so wide. She's like a proper traditional winger. She likes the one-on-one. Yeah. She likes taking the ball on. And she rips the ball. She smacks the ball. She's that lanky, techie, the player you never want to come up against in that a five-a-side. Like, she'd be horrible to play against. We can talk about the Bundesliga a little bit. I still think will Bayern Munich post without Sydney Lohmann? You still think they have it?
Yeah.
Big lookouts. I mean, Rutala, does she stay?
I think she stays. I think she stays, and I think she does well. I think her numbers last year were underrated.
Yeah.
I think she came second or third for Frankfurt in their top goal scorers.
Crazy.
She's
from midfield as well.
She's behind Laura Freigang.
Yeah.
And Anna Yomi, and I think you're looking at two very good final third players.
Yeah.
I think obviously her product in that midfield is wholly dependent on how they work as a unit. Of
course, yeah, definitely. It's an interesting look because Frankfurt, they have so much ambition this year.
Yeah, and they should, because their players are coming off fantastic.
They're not far off. Last year they
campaigns.
weren't far off. It's what, one win against Bayern away, right?
They what was it, a point?
No. I don't think it was a point. I think because
From
Bayern
them
pulled
and
away.
Wolfsburg.
It was a point from Wolfsburg, but for Bayern were only 2 games ahead. Like, it wasn't that far. Like, they should have been a lot further, but it was really close early on. Rasso is a player that gets you 2-3 points a year.
I think so.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
Think so.
Vanessa Giles to Bayern, great signing.
I think so.
Lovely parents, by the way. I met them at a Matilda's game. The most lovely human beings I've ever met in my life.
And thank you for face planting in front of your home crowd in Lyon against Arsenal.
That's so brutal.
Great.
How dare you?
It was
How dare
fantastic.
you? They just started listening. The parents just started listening and you just cut them off.
I'm sorry.
All right, it's okay.
But I do
Giles and Caruso, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think? Both start, both great?
I think they're both great. I think Krieser finally finds a way into the team.
Yeah.
But I think that you have Cartable, and I think Cartable is...
She's the starter.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's amazing. I want to just mention one player, Edna Imade. She's currently loaned out to Sociedad. She's just signed to Bayern and gone to Sociedad on loan. She came from Granada, 16 goals in the Liga F. She is honestly like I'm calling ballers inside. This girl, if someone goes down in that Bayern team, she gets recalled. This is a player like... she's like the 2-footed, like I'm genuinely like the goal, like you watch her goals on TikTok or anything, any media outlet where you see any of her goals, one clip will be left foot, one clip will be right foot, next goal with her head, other goal back to the goal. The variety of goals she scores, she's a brick, she's lightning fast, she has a low driven shot with her right foot along the ground, and then a left foot smack into the near post. She's got everything I want in a striker. She's a ripper player. I think 24 years old, you're looking at trying to further progress your career. If she makes big waves back at Liga F, just keeps banging in the goals, which she's proven she can do, I reckon she'll get a recall. I reckon she'll be a look to see if she can get a few games for Bayern.
I guess my Bundesliga hot take is that I do think that Wolfsburg do fall off from that second position. I think.
Do you think it's 1-2, so Bayern, Frankfurt, and a bit of distance to the VFL?
and I think if
You'll LeBron, where's the numbers coming from?
and I think Bernstein was really underserviced.
Yeah.
In
so was Yula Brand.
Yeah, exactly, in the Netherlands team. And I do think that she obviously has so much to offer. Alex Pop is perpetual to me. She's inevitable.
Yeah.
And
it's hard to rule them out with her,
exactly.
If she's
Jon
fit.
Stottier leaving as well, I think that's a problem for them. But
the Icelandic hero.
Yeah.
The best Stottier of them all.
I do think... I think if we're looking at the Bundesliga, if it's a league that you don't watch or a league that you're hesitant to move outside of the WSL, it is the second, I believe, most competitive league outside of the WSL in Europe. And I think it last year proved to be an incredible campaign. We had at least we had 4 teams in it at one stage.
Yeah.
I think that the quality is there, and I think it's a good league to get into.
I think that's our wrap up of the respective teams.
Yeah.
I have a segment I'm bringing to the table. This is something I've thought of for a long time. What would Kang do? This segment is about what it means to be Michelle Kang. So I'm going to give you the prompt, right? Right. I want to talk about Austria. Yeah. You think back to any historical time frame in Austria.
Famously a fun time.
Yeah, fictional or real. If you think about Austria in any way you know it to be, whatever portion of history you want to choose in Austria.
I'm not choosing a fun history, by the way.
Okay, that's fair.
This is not going to be a fun
that's fair.
history.
But I want you to think, if she was in Austria in any time frame, what would Kang do? What would Kang do?
Well, naturally, Kang would gather all the women of Austria, come together in some sort of like secret cave.
Yeah.
She wants to expand Austria.
Expand Austria.
The empire.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. She wants to expand. And what Kang naturally does is she gets all these women and she goes full 300 on them.
Full 300. So
full 300.
she's like Kangonitis.
Yeah.
Okay, I see it.
And I think what Kang does best to me is she likes to perform.
Yeah.
Like she knows what she's doing, I think, a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And so I think she'll go out onto the battlefield when they start winning. I think when they chop the head off.
She plays?
No, she doesn't play.
No, she
She'll be there when they chop the head off the general of whoever the Austrian establishment.
She's there at the ending.
She's there at the ending, and she's lifting up the metaphorical trophy.
The metaphorical trophy.
She's there. She wants you to be there. She's renaming Austria.
She's renaming it to what?
Something to do with lions, presumably.
Lions, Austrian lions.
Yeah, she's the Lionesses maybe.
Austrian Lionesses.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I don't think that's. I think that's in pure Michelle Kang spirit. I actually can see it. I can see it. The Kanganitis. I can see her power over people and like facilitating the right time to utilize that power. I took a bit of a different route.
Okay.
Right. So I thought long and hard. Talk about Kang in Vienna. Or building a woe sound of music, right? We could do that, right? But the reality is I had to pick Salzburg, right?
Yeah.
A place with romance and counter-reformation, right? It was the birthplace of counter-reformation. Do you know what that is? Counter-reformation, while in your head, probably sounds like something that should have been invented by Sonia Bompasta, right? Counter-reformation.
Yeah.
No, it's just a period of time where Austria wanted to reaffirm Catholicism and its doctrines, eliminate the church/stadium abuses, and then spread the faith, which is basically football, through messaging, which I can translate to any chanting or musical theatre that's ever happened in Austria or any football event that's ever
I'm glad you
happened.
did your research. I mean, I'm just thinking back to the most recent of Austrian history.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking at the religious aspects because that's how I see Kang. I see Kang as a religious figure in the sport, right? Enter Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, a musician with love for opera. By the way, Michelle Kang loves opera. I don't know if you know this.
She's like a fact.
She's like a crazy, like you wanted to be an opera singer when she was a
real?
child. Yeah. So a musician with the love for the opera saw an opportunity to conduct a new space with her father's help. It was a dream come true. If we're referring to the beauty of football, the sanctity of one perfect moment can almost parallel a soprano singer hitting the highest note, basically top bins. Yeah, that's how I see it. I see that the sound of music is run by Michelle Kang.
This is too complimentary of Michelle Kang.
Yeah, well, but the reality is that is what she's trying to do, right? She has tried to use money to buy beauty. If I was playing career mode in any country in any given time frame of the world, that's how she would do it.
You wouldn't take over the country like I have?
No, I don't know, because I think Michelle Kang has more soft power interests. I think she truly doesn't want to militarize football in the same way.
Okay.
I think she's not she actually, like, as much as I hate her, she might actually somewhat care about the sanctity of the beauty of the sport.
I mean, she's just going about the complete opposite of what it should be done.
Yeah, it's just like I would hate her so much more if Lyon played bad football. But the reality is, when I've watched them play, like Montemuro, Giraldez, they play beautiful games.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be complimentary, but I want to tell the story of beauty. I want to tell a story of beauty every week, and I hope I hope anyone who takes this on and takes on what would Kang do, you have to realize it's about an omnipotent, omnipresent person being transformed to a time, any time frame that you want. And if you want to comment on a specific time frame, I might take it into account. But next week's one's already written. So if you want, episode 3, what would Kang do on your plate? That is great. But that is our first installment of what would Michelle Kang do. Yeah,
it was great.
I think it has to stay.
I think it has to stay purely on the basis that Michelle Kang will never listen to this. I don't think.
I hope she does.
You think so? Well, if she'd
take it on.
And I was going to say, but you know what? It may get her to start.
Wouldn't you love to see her sing Edelweiss? I think that would be great.
No, I've never watched The Sound of Music.
Oh, that's cruel.
I don't really know much about Austria.
Okay, I take this back. I have a new enemy. Anyone who hasn't watched The Sound of Music needs to watch The Sound of Music. I'm sorry. Julie Kang-Drews is unbelievable.
My note of Austria is 22 euros. That's it.
Yeah, that's all
I'm
you've
sorry.
got. Manu Zinsberger. So you know Manu Zinsberger, but you don't.
Manu Zinsberger to me is what Austria is.
Okay, I get that. But we'll have to watch The Sound of Music after this. But this has been the Benchwarmers, the first podcast. We definitely went overboard. We were trying to do this in 90 minutes. It did not happen.
We hope you love long podcasts of yaps.
We had a little bit of a Qatar moment here. A bit of extra time. Let's put it like that.
Yeah, no time for NWSL talk.
Yeah, seriously. We didn't get to Yank Ball, but it's okay. We will fit it somewhere else, we'll do it anyway. We'll be around every week.
Yeah.
We'll have content for you all. And till next time, we are the Benchwarmers, a Woso podcast.
Thank you.